Imagine, just for a second, that you have absolutely unlimited resources. I mean, like a completely blank check.
Oh, wow. Yeah, a literal blank check.
Right. You can build the exact home you've always wanted anywhere in the entire world with literally any architectural design you can possibly fathom.
That is quite the prompt.
It is. So take a second and really picture that perfect house in your mind's eye. You know, feel the materials, look out the windows, walk through the front door.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see it? Now, here's the real challenge. How would you describe that specific, highly personal image in English?
It's actually a massive linguistic hurdle, right?
Exactly.
Taking a vivid, highly personal picture from your imagination and then translating it into a second language, it requires a very specific set of conversational tools.
Yeah, because you aren't just reciting facts anymore.
Precisely. You're trying to convey an emotion, a vibe, really, and a dream.
And that is exactly our mission today. We are looking at a fantastic source text called Architecting Your Dream Home in English. And today's deep dive is designed specifically for you, the listener, to give you the exact vocabulary and the grammatical structures you need to paint a vivid picture of your dream home.
Which is so fun.
It is. And because we really want you to easily absorb this language and feel confident using it, we're going to take our time today.
Yeah, we'll keep it steady.
Right. We'll be speaking clearly at a moderate, comfortable pace. That way, you can really hear how these words and phrases link together in natural conversation.
Which is so important when you're absorbing new vocabulary. I mean, describing a dream house isn't just about memorizing the dictionary definition for, like, door or roof.
Right. Nobody wants to just hear a list of parts.
Exactly. It's about expressing your personality and your desires. And to do that effectively, you need the right framework.
Okay, let's unpack this. Before we can even start talking about these specific English adjectives for a house, the rooms, the walls, the atmosphere, we have to pour the grammatical foundation.
The linguistic concrete.
Yes. We need the structure that allows us to dream out loud in the first place.
Right. And that foundation, it relies entirely on conditional language.
Conditionals, yeah.
Because when we talk about a dream house, we're operating entirely in the realm of the hypothetical. The house doesn't exist yet, or at least you don't own it yet.
Sadly.
Right, sadly. So we rely on conditional phrases to signal to the listener that we're stepping outside of reality.
Got it.
Our source text actually highlights two vital phrases that you'll really want to master. The first one is, if I could have any house.
Listen to the rhythm of that phrase, right? If I could have any house.
It flows so well.
It really immediately sets the stage for a story.
It does. And the second key phrase from the text is just as powerful. It's, if money weren't an issue.
If money weren't an issue, meaning, like, if you didn't have to worry about the cost or the mortgage or the massive price tag.
Which is the dream, obviously.
Yeah.
Let's look at why this grammatical shift matters so much in actual conversation.
Okay.
This conditional framework, starting your sentence with an if, it completely changes the social dynamic of the discussion. It moves you away from neutral factual reporting.
Right, because normally when you describe your current home, you're usually just giving a status report.
Exactly. You say things like, I live in a 3-bedroom apartment, or my house is close to the train station.
Very practical.
It's practical, but it's a bit dry. The conditional if, though, it invites you to step into a space for descriptive, opinion-driven language. It basically, gives you permission to use vivid sensory adjectives.
I really like looking at it through that lens. If I can offer an analogy here.
Please do.
Talking about a house using only facts like it has 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom is a bit like reading a grocery list.
Right. Highly functional.
Yeah, it gets the job done, but it doesn't inspire anyone. But when you use a conditional phrase like, if money weren't an issue, it's like you're suddenly a movie director with an unlimited CGI budget.
Oh, I like that.
Right. You aren't constrained by the laws of physics or your bank account anymore. You get to build a whole world from scratch. It's like going from a black and white blueprint to coloring in the house with your imagination.
The unlimited CGI budget is a great way to think about it. The if removes the cognitive load of reality.
Totally.
Like, you don't have to worry about how you're going to clean a 10-bedroom mansion.
No sweeping for you.
Exactly. You just get to imagine living in it.
So now that we have our grammatical foundation poured, our permission to dream, we can actually step through the front door of this imaginary house.
Let's do it.
We need to determine what the inside of the house actually feels like. And our source text contrasts two very common but fundamentally opposite ideals when it comes to interior spaces. The words are cozy and spacious.
Let's start by looking at cozy. So cozy describes a space that is small, warm, comfortable, and inviting.
Right.
But in English, the word carries a lot of cultural weight. Like when native speakers hear the word cozy, they don't just think small.
No, not at all.
Right. They associate it with the feeling of protection. They picture things like wooden cabins, crackling fireplaces, soft blankets, reading a book while it's raining outside.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
It does. It's a real sense of intimacy and security.
It's that feeling of being tucked away from the world. Let me give you a natural example sentence using our foundation.
Yeah, let's hear it.
If I could have any house, I would want a cozy cabin with a fireplace. Listen to how those pieces fit together to create a mood. If I could have any house, I would want a cozy cabin with a fireplace.
The imagery there is just instant.
Yeah.
Now, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we have the word spacious.
Spacious, right.
Spacious describes an abundance of room. It's associated with openness, high ceilings, lots of natural light pouring in, and a profound sense of freedom.
Total opposite vibe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A spacious room doesn't hug you the way a cozy room does. Instead, it gives you room to breathe.
There's a certain luxury to just empty space.
There really is.
Let's use our other conditional phrase to model this one.
Okay.
If money weren't an issue, I would buy a spacious home with huge windows. Again, nicely connected. If money weren't an issue, I would buy a spacious home with huge windows.
Now, when we look at English conversations about dream homes, most descriptions naturally lean heavily toward one or the other.
Right.
And the psychological reasoning behind this is actually really fascinating. This initial choice between cozy and spacious, it often reveals something much deeper about the speaker's broader personality and their current priorities.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, it signals to the listener whether you deeply value intimacy and feeling protected from the chaos of the outside world, which leads to cozy. Or if you value freedom, movement, and a sense of limitless potential, which leads to spacious.
Okay, I have to jump in here and push back a little bit on this binary.
Sure, go ahead.
Do we really have to choose one or the other? I mean, what if
When you're answering a hypothetical question, say, at a dinner party or in an English class, about your ultimate dream, you need a thesis statement. The person listening to you wants to understand your overall vibe.
That makes sense.
Are you fundamentally a cozy person at heart, seeking retreat? Or a spacious person at heart, seeking expansion? If you say, I want a spacious house, but also cozy, but also big, the image just gets muddy.
Yeah, it dilutes the picture.
Exactly. Choosing a dominant theme makes your description much sharper, more revealing, and honestly, a lot more fun to discuss.
That makes perfect sense from a storytelling perspective. The dominant choice tells the listener who you are in that moment.
Exactly.
So we have the inside vibe figured out, but a house doesn't exist in a vacuum. Once we know what it feels like inside, we have to, zoom out, look out the window, and see where we actually placed this dream house on the map.
Because location dictates lifestyle,
Right.
which makes it just as important as the house itself.
Yeah.
And the source text introduces location as the second axis of
The
contrast.
second axis, okay.
And it gives us two more essential vocabulary words to describe the environment: remote and urban.
Let's start with remote. So remote means far away from cities, towns, or heavily populated areas.
Logistically isolated.
Yeah, physically isolated. When I think of a remote location, I think of complete silence, being surrounded by nature, and total uninterrupted privacy. Like you wouldn't be able to see your neighbor's lights at night.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
For example, if I could have any house, it would be in a remote location, like a mountain cabin where I can't hear any traffic.
Notice how you added the reasoning at the end there.
Oh, the traffic part.
Yeah, the detail about not hearing traffic. We'll come back to why that's so crucial in a moment. But first, let's contrast remote with urban.
Okay, urban.
Or, depending on the context, you can also use the word central.
Right.
Urban describes a closeness to city life. It's the exact opposite of remote. An urban location implies you're surrounded by convenience, energy, culture, restaurants, and people. You step out your front door and you're immediately part of the hive.
The energy of the city. Let me try an example for this one.
Let's hear it.
If money weren't an issue, I would want a spacious apartment in an urban area, right in the middle of the downtown art district.
Very nice. So when you look at these two choices, remote versus urban, the key for English learners isn't just memorizing the definitions.
What's the key then?
Well, simply naming a location, just saying, I want to live in the mountains or I want to live in the city, doesn't actually generate a deep conversation.
It's kind of a dead end.
It is. The real conversational depth comes from explaining the reasoning behind your preference.
Right, you have to explain the why. You can't just drop a location and expect the other person to fully understand your motivation.
Precisely. You're really contrasting the desire for quiet, privacy, and perhaps like a digital detox, which is the appeal of the remote lifestyle, against the desire for serendipity, convenience, and cultural energy, which is the urban lifestyle. So when you're practicing your conversational English, try to explicitly state that reasoning.
Spell it out.
Yes. Don't just say, I want a remote house. Say, I want a remote house because I value privacy and quiet, or because I want to disconnect from my stressful job.
That tip right there is the difference between a beginner and an advanced speaker.
Absolutely.
Adding because takes a short, simple statement and turns it into a window into your values.
It really does.
Okay, so let's recap our progress so far. We have the inside vibe, cozy or spacious. We have the outside location, remote or urban.
Check.
But the final layer of describing a dream house in this source text comes down to specific features. Or, quite surprisingly, it comes down to the actual process of acquiring the house.
Right. The text gives us two final, highly culturally relevant vocabulary items for this layer.
And what's the first word?
The first is backyard. A backyard refers to the private outdoor area directly behind a house.
Literally the yard in the back.
Yeah, exactly.
But in English-speaking cultures, especially in places like the US, Canada, or Australia, a backyard is much more than just a fenced-in square of grass.
Oh, for sure.
It represents a whole lifestyle. It's an extension of the living space. It's your private outdoor kingdom where you host barbecues with friends, where you plant a garden, or where your dog can run around.
It really is a cultural cornerstone of the dream home concept. Let's hear an example sentence for backyard.
Okay. If I could have any house, it must have a large backyard for hosting summer dinner parties.
Very natural. Now, the second vocabulary item in this section introduces a completely different angle on the concept of a dream.
Oh.
The word is fixer-upper.
Ah, fixer-upper.
A fixer-upper refers to a house that needs significant repair, renovation, or modernization. It's a house that is, by definition, not perfect when you buy it.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
Right.
Because the idea of a fixer-upper seems entirely counterintuitive to the premise of our conversation today.
It does.
I mean, if we're talking about an unlimited budget and a limitless dream, why on earth would someone's ultimate dream house be broken, outdated, or unfinished?
It's a fascinating paradox. When you have a blank check, why buy something that needs work?
I've been thinking about this, and it really shifts the definition of what a dream actually is.
Okay, tell me more.
If you dream of a fixer-upper, your dream isn't a finished, pristine product handed to you on a silver platter.
No.
Your dream is actually the joy of the process. It's the journey of transformation. Think of it like this. It's a lot like the culture around restoring a classic car.
Oh, that's a great comparison.
Right. You don't buy a rusted 1960s Mustang because it's convenient or reliable. If you wanted convenience, you'd just buy a brand new sports car off the lot.
With a warranty.
Exactly, with heated seats and a warranty. But you buy the rusted Mustang because you want to spend your weekends in the garage, getting your hands dirty, learning how the engine works and bringing it back to life.
It's about the work itself.
Yes. The value is in the sweat equity and the story you get to tell afterward. It's like painting a blank canvas instead of just buying a finished painting. A fixer-upper house is the exact same thing.
That is a phenomenal way to contextualize it. The value is in the sweat equity. And the source text points this out as well.
Really?
Yeah, it notes that dreaming of personalizing an imperfect space yourself is a distinct, unique, and highly common way to approach this hypothetical conversation.
Interesting.
It signals to the listener that you value creativity, effort, and the narrative of transformation over mere convenience. It shows you want to leave your personal fingerprint on the environment.
It totally reframes the conversation. So we now have all the individual building blocks on the table.
We do.
We have the conditional structures to launch our sentences. We have the contrasting adjectives for the interior vibe, cozy and spacious. We have the external environments, remote and urban. And we have the specific features and journeys, the backyard and the fixer-upper.
That's quite a toolkit.
It is. So what does this all mean for our listener? How do they actually weave all of these separate elements into a fluid, natural response when someone asks them about their dream home?
Well, the source text actually provides a structural formula for this.
Oh, perfect.
A well-developed, engaging description should be a connected sequence. If you just rattle off a disconnected list of adjectives like, I want a cozy, remote backyard house, it sounds disjointed.
Yeah, it sounds like a shopping list.
Exactly. To sound natural and fluent, you should guide the listener through 3 specific steps in a specific order.
So if we follow the source's logic, the architecture of the answer works in 3 distinct layers. What's the sequence?
Step 1. Start from the inside out.
Yeah.
State what the house itself looks and feels like. This is where you establish the core vibe using words like cozy or spacious wrapped in a conditional phrase.
Okay, inside first.
Step 2. Zoom out and state where it's located. This is where you place the house on the remote to urban spectrum, and crucially, you add your because reasoning.
Right, the motivation.
And step 3, bring it back to the personal details by listing the specific features or the journey that matters most to you, whether that's a backyard, a massive kitchen, or the desire to tackle a fixer-upper.
Inside vibe, outside location with reasoning and personal features. Let me try to model this.
Let's see it in action.
I'm going to put it all together into one complete connected narrative. I'll take it slowly so you can hear how the vocabulary from today links together seamlessly.
Sounds good.
Here we go. If money weren't an issue, my dream would be a very cozy cabin. I would want it to be in a remote location, deep in the mountains, because I really need a quiet place to disconnect from technology. However, I wouldn't want a brand new, modern build. I'd actually love to buy a fixer-upper so I could restore the inside myself and add a huge backyard where I could plant a vegetable garden.
That flows incredibly well.
Thank you.
You use the conditional, if money weren't an issue, to launch the ideal. You established a cozy vibe right away. You placed it in a remote location and justified it with your need to disconnect.
Right.
And then you finished with the narrative journey of a fixer-upper and the specific feature of a backyard. It didn't just list vocabulary. It painted a cohesive picture of who you are and what you value.
It feels much more authentic than just saying, I want a big house in the woods. It opens the door for the other person to say, like, oh, you like gardening, or what kind of renovations would you do? It invites real dialogue.
Which is the ultimate goal of language learning. You aren't just trying to pass a vocabulary test, you're trying to express your true self and connect with others in English.
That's so true. Well, let's do a quick, clear recap of the 6 main vocabulary words we explored today, just to solidify them for you.
Good idea.
First, we looked at the interior vibe. We had cozy, representing a small, warm, comfortable, and inviting space, a real place of retreat.
Right.
And we contrasted that with spacious, representing an abundance of room, high ceilings, openness, and freedom.
Perfect.
Then we moved to the location spectrum. We discussed remote, meaning far away from cities, isolated and quiet. And we contrasted that with urban, meaning close to city life, convenient, and buzzing with energy.
Exactly.
And finally, we looked at the features and the journey. We defined backyard as the private outdoor area behind a house, essential for hosting and outdoor living. And we explored the fixer-upper, a house that needs repair or renovation, the dream of a project rather than a finished product.
Mastering those 6 concepts and framing them with conditional phrases like, if I could have any house, will completely transform the way you navigate this topic.
It's amazing how just a few carefully chosen words can unlock so much underlying meaning.
It really is.
Before we wrap up our deep dive today, I want to leave you with one final, slightly provocative thought to mull over.
Oh, I love these.
We spent all this time exploring how to use these English words to describe a hypothetical dream house, whether you lean toward a remote, cozy cabin or a spacious urban fixer-upper.
Yeah.
But when you are choosing these words, when you are carefully painting that mental picture and sharing it with someone else, are you really just describing a building of wood and stone? Or by choosing these specific words, are you actually describing the exact kind of life you wish you were living right now?
That is a profound question to reflect on. The architecture might just be a metaphor for the lifestyle?
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We highly encourage you to take this vocabulary, use the 3-step sequence, and practice describing your own dream home out loud today. Keep dreaming and keep practicing.